There are many forms of morality. I'm told that human solidarity is a way of running the world. Well, up to a point it is. But the problem with human solidarity is that it operates at different levels. Now, when I lived for some years in Moscow, it was folly to expect anyone to hold open a door in the Moscow metro. Big, heavy steel and glass doors they were too, because nobody there knew anything about manners. They let the thing swing back in your face. And if I ever held the door open for somebody else, as I did in my naive early weeks in that city, they'd look at me as if I were mad. Now, something similar has begun to happen to me in Britain. I'm walking down the aisle of a crowded train, and I see somebody coming the other way, struggling with luggage, and I think, well, I'll step out of the way and let them pass. Well, increasingly, the people behind me think I'm having a heart attack, so they barge past me. The breakdown of general assumptions about what is good affects the way that everybody behaves. You cannot have a private morality for very long if the public morality is declining. And I say there are three stages of this. As the whole is solipsistic, I will do what I want when there's nothing but left and right. And left is that way, this way, and it's the other way if I turn round. And then there's what you might call the shipboard morality, where there's port and starboard and there's fore and aft, but they change when the ship moves. And then there's the universal one, which flows from the universe, where there is true north, and where there is no difference ever about which is right and which is wrong, and which is the root of all authority. The authority of the state, which places power under the law. The authority of the family, where the parents rule the children. The authority of the country, where the people govern themselves under a law which all accept. All these things derive from that understanding. Without it, we're lost. Why sneer at it? Why seek to bring it down? Why mock it? Why make silly jokes about circumcision? This is far more important than that. I really do wish he'd treat it seriously for once.
Well, I know it's easy to sneer, but still someone has to do it. And if you like, I will stop with the circumcision, which you think is a trivial thing. I mean, have you ever talked to anyone or interviewed anyone who's been subjected to female genital mutilation because of God's will? You wouldn't say it was trivial or a tease if you had, let alone to the number of boy children who die every year because of the covenant, the hideous covenant that's imposed upon them by Mosaic law, which also, I might add, celebrates every year, in all three monotheisms, the decision of a father to put his knife to his son's throat, because that's how much he loves the dictator. Now, I find this wicked, and I won't have my belief called frivolous. And any one of you who's prepared to show how much you love God and appreciate true north by holding a knife to your firstborn's throat to prove your devotion can stand up now or be regarded by my brother as someone who's not morally serious. And now you see the depth to which, now you see the depth into which religion wants to throw you. Now, my book does have a few jeers at religion, because after all, you know, in this bed of tears, let's do that. But it's been reviewed very seriously by many bishops, many rabbis, by the Pope's chaplain in Rome, all of whom have said, as they've said about previous polemics of mine, that I make some points that they haven't yet come up with an answer to. The reason for that is because they can't. It's not in the nature of them to be able to do so. You either believe, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, comrades and friends, in the idea of vicarious redemption, or you do not. And you either think it's morally serious or you don't. In other words, you can either say, yes, I may have sinned badly, but I can throw my sins on another, and he can take them from me and die for me and suffer for me and take my responsibility away, or you don't think so. I think vicarious redemption is the most immoral idea in current circulation. I could, if I wanted to, if I knew you, or even if I didn't know you, I could offer to take your debt and pay it. It's been done. People will do that for friends, for lovers, even for strangers. I could offer to serve your term in prison if the law allowed it. Say, I don't think you can do it, probably I can. I'll serve your term. I'll do that for you. But to say, I'll take your sins away, you never committed them. There you're washed white as snow and clean as new. And you can watch me being tortured and put to death as a lamb, as a sheep. And I'll call you a sheep, and my congregation will be called a flock. From then on is a double humiliation. First, it's a hideous outrage on the scapegoat. Second, it's a terrible insult on those who agree to be called sheep. Anyone here want to stand up and say, I'm a sheep? I'm a lamb? Yes. Good for you. Anyone else? Good for the rest of you. Fine. Sheep you are. It's not usually that easy. Now, okay, why is there something, not nothing? Good question. Why is the universe expanding so fast now that it's just been discovered that the red shift of Edwin Hubble is not an expanding rate that is slowing down, as Newton would have had us believe, but is an expanding rate that is speeding up? Physicists thought the universe would slow down. No, the rate of expansion is so great now that very soon it won't be possible. Read Lawrence Krauss's piece in the Current Scientific American. Won't even be possible to work out how we ever worked out what the Big Bang was. Such nothingness is coming to us, we won't even know where we were before. And in the meantime, the Andromeda galaxy is heading towards us directly. You can see it in the night sky now with the naked eye. And in 5 billion years, which is in physics time, nothing. It's tomorrow in physics time. It's here. So the something we have now is about to meet with a great deal of nothing. Some design, huh? Who designed that? The question always is the same, even without science. We knew what the philosophers knew. Anyone who claims this is a design must either convict the designer of one thing, extreme incompetence and noodling and footling and chaotic planning, and probably both, extreme cruelty, callousness and indifference towards those whom he summoned into existence and made to suffer. These points cannot be overthrown by any kind of casuistry, and certainly were not even challenged by the casuistical efforts you just heard. Thank you.